Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Anthropologist Watches Amberlynn Reid. And just as I expected, once I started recording a reaction to Mr. Snowflake, Amberlynn dropped a video. Almost exactly to the point, too. This is 2 hours old as the time of recording, so that means, literally when I first started doing the reaction, she dropped this video. I haven't watched this one yet. I try not to react to things cold, but here it is. This one's called Turning to Alcohol, Diagnosed with BPD, and Saying Goodbye Forever. I know that she recently did a Ask Me Anything, I'm going to ignore 90% of the questions thing on her community tab. So I also know that she got ghosted earlier. Somebody mentioned that, and then I saw the, who'd I see the clip through? Somebody showed me the clip of her getting ghosted. Before we get any further, you should know that I am an anthropologist by training. I am a retired archaeologist, and those are my credentials. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. And thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. Ding, ding. And thank you to the 3 of you that hit the thumbs down button. Ding. We're going to watch this at 1:25 because that's what I always speed her up to. Do I think Amber is saying goodbye to YouTube forever? No. I think it's a clickbait title. She's probably not even going to mention it until the last 3 seconds of the video anyway. I'm going to stick to the regular. What else do I need to say before we get into this? Thank you guys for getting me to 1,800 subscribers. I know that's not a high number, but it's my number and I am proud of it. And if you guys get me to 2,000, again, not a high number, but I will do a very curated AMA, so you can have that. I don't know how exciting that's going to be, but I will do it. Y'all seem interested for some strange reason. Y'all keep coming back. So, anything else I need to say before we get into this? Oh, my cats may or may not be going nuts in the background, and also somebody's working on my internet, so that should be entertaining to record through. So let's give this a shot.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video.
Ooh,
so today we're going to do like a Q&A type style. I feel like I haven't done just like a straight up Q&A in a very long time. And I know there's probably a lot of questions, a lot of things you guys want to know, want me to talk about, clarify, explain.
I don't know if she's loud to you guys, but she was loud to me. So we'll see if we need to adjust that post-recording.
Whatever it may be. So it's perfect time to do that. I know I have not really been posting, and honestly it's because
she's really doing that Ariana Grande / Madonna ponytail thing with the eyes going on. She's like really in love with that look right now.
So much is like going on up here that it's hard for me to sit and focus. Plus I've been busy out doing things, and it's just like
things that I'm not going to record or share with you, but trust me, you guys, I'm doing the things.
I went through a very big moment by, moving to a completely different state, living by myself for the first time in my life in this way, around family that I haven't been around since I was 18 years old. I'm 32 now. I was in a relationship with a person that I thought I was going to be with forever, that I literally thought I was going to marry.
You guys weren't even together for 2 years. You were like together for 2.5. Were you close to 2 years? It doesn't matter. For the love of Pete.
There was a lot of different things.
I do think it's interesting that Feline basically bailed on the relationship once the love bombing stopped. So that's an interesting takeaway from that.
Things happening, and which are still happening. And it's just like I was filming every single day and uploading every other day. And I think I just got burnt out because it really was just like so much at once, and I was feeling extremely overwhelmed, and I've kind of just like disappeared.
I know, man. Making that 10-minute video every other day is it takes a lot. It takes a lot. I did wonder about how long we were going to get a schedule like that, because she's not great at staying consistent on a tight schedule like that. Also, I know that she's been really pushing her TikTok channel, and she's been making like a crap ton of TikToks. So I know that was preoccupying her time. And I also suspect that she was doing these videos as frequently as she was because she was excited to be in the new place, even though she wasn't really liking it. And also she was bored out of her mind because she's, like she said, she's by herself. So she must have found some kind of social outlet lately to keep her occupied. And like she said, she's been going out a lot. So I suspect that might be why we're not getting videos, is because she's actually found something else to entertain herself with. I mean, if it was my only source of income and my rent depended on it, I wouldn't slack, but
I do want to say I'm sorry for that. Okay, so I actually posted 3 days ago, anything you want me to talk about in an upcoming video. I posted that on my community tab. So I'm just going to go.
How long has it been since she posted? So as of today, it's been 8 days since she's posted. So over a week since she posted last. And now she's just on here like, hey guys, nothing's going on. Wah.
In order, obviously I'm going to skip over things I either A, don't want to talk about, things I feel like that are like too disrespectful for me, or like repeat questions, but I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down. Let's get into it. Okay.
It should be entertaining.
Okay, so the first question is, why are you suddenly no longer complaining about any of your multiple health issues that were always causing you to be set back, or your mental health problems that you felt the need to feel to use as a crutch every day suddenly healed from everything?
That was a hell of a question. I don't blame her for having to do 2 takes of that. Was there any punctuation there? Come on, people.
Before I answer that, I just want to say that's really sad that like when people are vocal about their like mental health, a crutch every day suddenly healed from everything. So before I answer that, I just want to say that's really sad that like when people are vocal about their like mental health or physical stuff, that people say, oh, you're using that as a crutch. When it's like things are too late or things have gone too far or you are too far gone, people are like, oh, you should have spoke up. You should have said something. And it's like, I am very much that person that I do speak up. I do say something. But I've noticed I have taken a lot of steps back in that regard because I am feeling constantly judged. I am feeling like people think that I do use it as a crutch or an excuse. So I think that's
Okay, I apologize. We just got our internet fixed, which it apparently has needed for a while. I didn't even know you had to tighten things down. Is this a series of tubes and wires, right?
the reason why that I'm not talking about those things anymore, because like even in this person's question, they said like, why are you no longer...
Where does that damn humming come from? She has like some of the worst background hums and noises.
Complaining about these things. I never feel like I'm coming from a complaining spot. I've always just tried to take pride in like being vocal about my mental health or like things that I'm going through. But overall, the reason why I'm not talking about these things anymore is because I have taken a step back of talking about really personal things. And it's because of the response that I receive when I do that, because the response that I receive doesn't help me. It actually makes me feel worse.
I mean, on the one hand, she's right. If the bad feedback is constantly triggering her, then that's the responsible thing to do, is to just stop talking about it. She doesn't, contrary to popular belief, she doesn't owe us anything. So if she doesn't want to share things with us, then we don't really have a right to have it. Like she doesn't owe us anything. And personally, there's a lot of things I wish she wouldn't share, because it's like, you guys know my stance on some of this stuff. But as far as like the crutch part of it all, like the reason people think she uses things as a crutch, myself included, by the way, is because of the way she uses it. She uses it as an excuse almost every time I've ever heard her mention any of these disorders and whatnot that she has. She's always using it as an excuse for why she can't do something or why something isn't working for her. And she never mentions a solution or like working towards a solution or a coping mechanism or a workaround for things. She's almost always like, well, I can't do X because of Y. And that's the end of it. Or she's trying to use bits and pieces of usually mental health as some kind of like sympathy bug, and it's just like, I sound like I'm from California. It's very disingenuous. It comes off as very disingenuous. It comes off very much as like attention seeking. And I mean, does she have it? Doesn't she have it? A lot of times she's not diagnosed. A lot of times she's self-diagnosing herself, and she's like, oh yeah, I read it on the internet, and it sounds like me. So it's hard to know when she's actually been diagnosed with something and when she's just basically pretending that she is because she read her horoscope for the day and it sounds like she's a Scorpio today, kind of a thing. I don't know. Well, I do know. And the fact that she never does, the reason why I have such an issue with it is because she never gets help. Or when she does tacitly go and get help, she then turns around and completely ignores it, like with her medications. Like she doesn't take the medication for them, even though she's been prescribed by a doctor to take these medications. You know, we'll hear about her therapist once or twice, and then we will never hear about the therapist again, kind of things. It's just, those are the things that aggravate me, as far as like, it makes me feel like she only has these issues when she needs them, and any other time that they're a non-problem. And that's why people think that they're not real, and why people think that she's just using them for sympathy points and that kind of thing. So,
have you noticed an improvement in your health overall? So yeah, I do notice improvement in my health, and I'm going to come from like my stamina area type situation.
I bet she has. Mama Lynn likes to park as far away from the doors as humanly possible, and she has to do more stuff for herself. She's got to cook her, well, she doesn't cook, but she's got to walk the dog. She's got to feed the cats. She's got to do her own laundry. You know, she has to buy her own groceries. I'm pretty sure she probably DoorDashes the groceries, but, you know, she's still got to put them up herself. She had to unpack everything on her own. That kind of a thing, you know?
Because it's like, I was actually talking to my mom the other night, and I was like explaining to her like how bad I was in 2019, because she didn't even know.
Why do we keep going back to 2019? Like, that was 4 years ago now. It's just like, why do we keep going back to there? How about last year?
She didn't even know the extent of how bad I was, because it was just embarrassing. The only people who knew were the people that I lived with. It's like, I was outside.
You mean Becky?
I was actually taking a walk with my mom and with Twinkie. And I was just like, I wouldn't have been able to do this in 2019, like not even remotely close. I am able to go and do things. Science Museum is a really good example of that. Whereas in 2019, I couldn't do those things. And even my mom was like, what do you think changed? Like, how do you think that you did that? Like, even though you're still the same size as you were? It's because it takes work. It takes hard work to build your stamina. Like, it was very, very hard, because I still remember in 2019, when I tried to take a shower, like my legs would shake. I would be so out of breath. Like for even 30 seconds of me standing, I was like, it just felt like I was completely incapable as a person. It was terrifying. And I remember feeling like I'm never going to change. I remember feeling like this is how my life is always going to be. And I had a really good friend at the time who experienced a lot of like the same things I was experiencing when it came to like my stamina. And like, I literally couldn't even stand for 30 seconds.
Dana? That's the only person I can think of who is remotely close to her size.
And I remember very well just like constantly talking to her about it and just saying like, is this how it's always going to be? Because that's what it felt like. I was trapped in a
Brave? I don't know, a couple of Becky's friends were pretty big too. Were they Amber's size? Brave was pretty big. So was Dana. They were not a small group of people.
Prison. And then slowly but surely over time, I said, no, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna stand for no reason. Like there were times where I would purposely stand for no reason just to build those muscles that I had lost. And a really big thing for me that changed was I stopped sitting while cooking. I stopped sitting while doing things where normally I would sit. Like sometimes I even journal standing up. Like you don't need to be sitting all the time.
It sounds like she's trying to say these are things that she's been doing since 2019, and I'm gonna call BS on a lot of this. Like, do I think she's been doing some of this recently? Yes, but I feel like if she'd been doing a lot of this since 2019, then she would be in a better shape. Also, wasn't she basically housebound, like, before she even moved? She wasn't leaving the house when she was... Not only was she not leaving the house, but her mobility was drastically worse last year before she moved, when she was buying the boxes to pack. Like, her mobility during that whole scene was terrifying. So I don't believe, the way she's making it sound is that she's been doing this since 2019, but I don't believe her.
And the biggest one for me is every time I go to a store, I would tell myself, do not get on the scooter. I think a really big part of that, what made it like easier, was being with Feline, because I felt ashamed and embarrassed. I did not want her to see me like that. So not one time while being in a relationship with her did I ever use a scooter. But
I believe that, but I don't believe that was the reason.
it's just all those tiny little things. It's just like doing more, cleaning the house when there's no reason for it. It builds your stamina when you literally had none.
She keeps dipping in and out of her recollection zone, which is very close to her deception zone. So, like, there's that damn open mouth, vacant look that she gets, though, when she's thinking. She gets this look when she's making things up. Now, not necessarily, like, making up lies, but she's deciding what she's going to say next. And whether or not it's true or not is a whole other story, but yeah.
I'm not talking about like the average person. I don't think that cleaning is going to help your stamina. I mean, go for it. But when you were pretty much bedbound, getting up and doing things that you normally wouldn't and doing them every single day, it makes it to where your stamina just improves. So then every single day you're able to do more.
And here we go. Here's Advice Lynn telling us how to change our lives, even though, yeah.
And more. So now that it's been, 4 years since then, that person in 2019, she doesn't exist. Like the mentality I had, who I was on YouTube, she doesn't exist anymore. Just the incapability of just...
Sure, Jan. If she really wants us to believe that, she might believe it herself, but I mean, she's definitely more active than she was in 2019, but I still feel like that last few months before she moved, she was like basically housebound from like Christmas until she moved. She didn't go anywhere, really. She didn't do anything, or if she did, she didn't show it to us, which leads to the speculation that she didn't do anything. So yeah, I don't know, man. Have you convinced yourself of this? Is that the deal? Is this the story you tell yourself?
Just living as a human, because here I am living on my own where I need zero help. Next question is, are you in pain going out so much? No, I'm not in pain, but like obviously I do have lipedema and lymphedema. So by moving more, I do swell more. So that is the part that does suck a lot.
That's all truthful.
That's one thing that my body can't get used to.
Or that all appears to be truthful.
Has Feline ghosted you? Okay, so the answer is no. But I really hurt her after we broke up by falling in love with someone else.
I don't know why that surprised Feline in any way, shape, or form, assuming that's true. So, okay.
I hurt her a lot, and I take accountability. I obviously just could not control falling in love with someone else.
I love Q&As. Keep going.
I very much...
Yeah, there she is. There's the Lied Factory.
Fell in love.
Did you, though?
I did. And it just was really hard for her, and it became hard for me. And
when she does that whole, I really did. I did. Like, sometimes she's being cute, and it depends on, like, when she's doing it. But, like, right there, I mean, you can tell from her face right now. That was a lie, and she's trying to convince us that she did. I don't think she did. I think that was she trying to get Feline back? I don't know. Will Feline ever share her side of the story? Probably not. And I don't expect her to or anything like that. So, and I think Amber knows that. So this kind of gives Amber free reign to just kind of say whatever she wants, because she knows Feline isn't going to step in and correct the record. Sorry, gotta move some stuff around. So could she be completely making up a story just to have A drama story? Yeah, because she's done it in the past, so.
Became a very big mess, and it just really went to show like how much she did love me, and I felt horrible, and I tried to fix it, but I kept failing at fixing it, and it made it to where she doesn't even want to continue being my friend.
Maybe that's the story we need to tell ourselves in order to deal with the fact that Feline doesn't want anything to do with you.
So I went through like a whole separate heartbreak in private. Like, I just feel like I'm reliving the heartbreak just a million times over. We were cordial for a bit after she left. We would text. Then, like, almost daily, I would text her, like, I love you, I miss you, because I just felt like I needed her to know.
That's... I'm going to say some stuff that you may or may not agree with me with. I feel like that's a manipulation tactic. The whole, like, I love you, I miss you kind of a thing. Especially with somebody who's basically tried to cut off communication with you. It's a very, in my opinion, toxic thing to do. And I mean, I'm sorry if you're one of the people that kind of pulls that kind of a thing. It's, in my opinion, not healthy. I know when people do that to me, it's like the biggest red flag on the planet, and I usually end up either blocking them. Well, blocking them. I haven't gotten a new number in forever. Probably shouldn't say that out loud.
And I needed her to know that I was sorry that I hurt her. I talked it over with a friend, and they said...
Was this the friend that you fell in love with?
I think it's time that you just, like, respect her.
You needed a friend to tell you that? Jesus.
And stop contacting her, and it's been really hard. This is going to sound dumb to some people, but I am on day 5 of not contacting her.
I don't believe that. I don't know if I believe the whole, like, attempting to get Feline back storyline. I don't know. This all seems kind of... I don't know. Sus. I guess that's the only way I can come up with it. It just seems sus. There's probably some truth in here. I don't know where exactly it is. I guess I should just take it at face value.
And I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's so unhealthy. Trust me, I get it. I have...
Do you, though?
Mental illness.
No. God damn it, no. No. I'm sorry. No. If you're aware enough to know that that is affecting your ability to function, then you're aware enough to know to shift the behavior. I'm sorry. I hate being this hard about things, but I too suffer from issues. I live with someone who suffers from issues. No. Okay? I'm sick and tired of people blaming their bad behavior on the difficulties that they have. I get it. Everybody's got problems, okay? But if you know you have problems and you continue to be an asshole, it's not a get out of jail free card, okay? I'm just tired of people using it as that. I've had one too many guys be completely inappropriate in situations, including situations with myself, who then fall back on, oh, I'm on the spectrum. Yeah, so's my partner. And he still manages to not be you. Okay? So, no. I'm sorry. I'm tired of this shit. No. Come for me in the comments if you want, but no.
And Feline was my very best friend for, like, over 2 years.
How does Crystal feel about this? Tell me how Crystal feels about this revelation. Do you have a best friend? Like, my best friend I've been best friends with since... Jesus Christ, when did we meet? Young teenage years? She and I have been friends for a very long time. We've been friends longer than most people have been married. Amber's calling people her best friend after like 2 years. I don't know. For me, that just seems like a short amount of time to be like classifying someone as your best friend. But I guess if your classification is like they're the only friend you have, then yeah, I guess they qualify as your best friend, because best friend compared to what? No friends? Okay. I'm being an ass. Sorry.
You know, I thought I was going to marry her. And it's just been really, really hard. So we are not in contact, and I'm going to be respecting her wishes, even if it's really freaking hard. Like, it's been so hard. Like, I have wanted to call her, I've wanted to text her in just these last 5 days, and it's like, I can't.
Just delete her number from your phone, and then you don't have to worry about it. Also, Feline, block her freaking number, which you might have done already. Like, I'm pretty sure if you block somebody, they don't know they're blocked. So I don't know. I've never actually blocked anyone.
And it's just been a whole other level of torture because I miss her so much. And I just think, out of respect for her and for myself and for our relationship,
Girl, you don't have a relationship. Okay. Not being able to pick up on not so subtle red flags and to continue to harass someone, which is what's happening here, after they've broken up with you, and to continue to consider yourselves in a relationship, even though there is no relationship and hasn't been for over a month at least. That's when the last time she saw Feline. This is obsessive and unhealthy and like whoop whoop red flags, get a restraining order behavior, which, I mean, you really probably don't have to worry about it too much with Amber because she can't drive or go anywhere unassisted. But if this was like an able-bodied person with a driver's license, this is not what you want to hear somebody you broke up with saying, especially to the freaking internet. Next thing you know, you wake up with like a horse head on your pillow or something. I don't know, man. This is just not healthy. I'm sorry. This is creepy to me. Okay, this is very creepy to me. It's kind of triggering, actually. I'm getting a little bit triggered here. Go on.
I don't want to talk about her, and I know a lot of people think that like I'm gonna come on here and say bad things about her. Not gonna happen.
Isn't that kind of what you're doing? I mean, they're not bad things, but you're kind of gossiping in a weird, very unhealthy way.
It's never going to happen. Next question is, how are the fur babies adapting to the move/new place? They actually adapted really fast, which surprised me, especially because Wasabi adapts slower than Twinkie and Rarity, but they're amazing. They seem very happy. They seem calm, and that just makes me really happy. Do you think it's wise to be drinking all the time with all the medications you are on? I actually am not on any medications.
So the answer is no. I think I should be drinking even more. Sorry, that was me. Sorry.
At all. I can't tell you the last time I took a medication. It's been months since I've been off of like anxiety medicine or for my bipolar, but I actually am taking a break on the whole drinking thing because I felt like I was turning to it. I did go through a phase a couple years ago where I was turning to alcohol, and the last.
So is she still having gummies? Are gummies, is that kind of stuff even legal in Oklahoma? I have no idea. So if you're from OK, let me know. But last time she was doing the whole, I'm not taking any medications, she then turned around and said, I don't consider THC a drug. So it does her not taking her medication mean that she is taking the gummies still?
Last time I drank was on live stream. I was drinking whiskey. It's because I was turning to alcohol.
What the fuck was she? Oh, live stream. That was the one she deleted. It must have been because, like, I don't remember her drinking whiskey. Oh, God, whiskey. Really? Sorry.
Because I just felt like I needed something so I didn't have to feel what I was currently feeling. And that's when I told myself, okay, I need to stop drinking because I'm not going to use alcohol as a crutch. I'm not that person, or at least I thought I wasn't that person. But when I told myself I was going to stop drinking, I was able to do that. I didn't drink for about 1.5 years. And now I'm finding myself
yay
going back to that. Like at first I was like, you know what? Single era, I live by myself, have a couple drinks. There's nothing wrong with that. But then I realized, okay, I like the way this makes me feel. I like that it's taking away certain emotions, heightening other emotions, and it's making me feel good. Then I started doing it more frequently, and I kind of want to just take like a little break until I heal a little bit more.
All right, first off, I just want to say, I personally, I am a non-drinker. But I personally don't see anything wrong with people casually drinking or socially drinking. Like, I don't see a problem with a couple few here and there. I think once you have drifted into the realm of functional drunks, of which I've known several at this point, then you have a problem. But I don't think having one or two drinks in the evening in your home, in your kitchen, when you're not going anywhere, I don't see anything wrong with that. Downing an entire 6 to 12 pack of White Claw, maybe that's a problem. But having two of those like buzzball things, I mean, that's basically two wine coolers. I've seen them in the stores now. They can't be that big of a deal. Also, again, as much as people are like, the gummies don't affect her because of her mass. Well, then the alcohol probably isn't affecting her that hard either. So there's that kind of a thing. If she's drinking every single night, yeah, and especially if she's like drinking herself into like a stupor every single night, yeah, that's not healthy behavior. I just don't see Amber doing that. I just don't. So, I don't know. I am a teetotaler, not because I think alcohol's the devil or anything like that. I just don't like the way it tastes at all in any variety. Like, I've yet to... It all smells like rubbing alcohol, and it all tastes like how nail polish remover smells. So I do not like it. I don't like the taste of it. I think I might actually even be like a little bit allergic to it because it's like, it's just awful. So that's why I don't drink. And if Amber just doesn't want to drink because she doesn't want to drink, I mean, more power to you. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with having a couple in the evening or stuff like that. Is just kind of the point I was trying to make.
Have you finished unpacking? Yes, I unpacked within 4 days of moving because I was just ready for all the boxes to be gone. I was ready for everything to be homey feeling. So it's been a hot minute since I've been done unpacking. Let's talk about if you'd ever get back with one of your past girlfriends. Oh my gosh. If circumstances were different, I would definitely get back with Feline. Yes, I would. Have you found a new therapist? I actually have not. So,
have you even looked?
This is actually a good question to kind of lead into something else. A little bit of a backstory is, as you guys remember, I had to do 12 sessions of therapy to get weight loss surgery because I was trying to do that. And then I did the 12 sessions and then I continued seeing the same therapist.
Did you though?
Actually psychologist.
No, she made that up.
Him a lot, so I stayed. And then remember when I told you guys, okay, well, I have to go to a new psychologist who actually specializes in something.
Notice, she did tell us that. That is a true statement. And notice where her eyes went while she was recalling that and telling us that, compared to earlier when she was like, I continued seeing the guy. Like, the eye movements are completely different, is my point.
Different, and I didn't feel comfortable saying what it was. I actually only got to see that psychologist one time because I ended up moving to a completely different state and I wasn't able to keep the same psychologist, obviously. But I guess now...
Psychologist, obviously.
Now is the time to say. I really did not want to share this. I don't know why, but I think it's something that
Then don't share it. Again, she owes us nothing.
Out of the diagnoses I've got my whole life ever since I was 9, which I was 9 and diagnosed with depression for the first time.
I mean, I know that can happen. With her, I'm not saying you can't be diagnosed with things when you are young. I was diagnosed with things when I was young as well. It's just with Amber, it's just so hard to know when she's... I don't know, man. Can I believe it? Yes, I can, because Amber had a shitty childhood. So I guess I shouldn't go too far off the deep end on that one. But anyway. With Amber, it's just so hard. It's so hard to believe her.
Because I was in foster care and just...
it all makes sense.
Diagnosed with that. But since then, I've been diagnosed with OCD. I've been diagnosed with PTSD, bipolar. And those things were so much easier for me to accept and I don't really know why. I was actually diagnosed on my 19th.
Here's something that I'm wondering if she's going to say. Because BPD is bipolar disorder, right? I was doing dishes the other day, like 2 days ago, and I don't know why I was thinking about it, but for some reason I was like, hey, I wonder how long before Amber tells us that she's being diagnosed with dissociative disorder. I don't know why that popped into my head, because there really wasn't any reason for it to be there. But I'm just like, I'm pausing now. I have no idea if this is what she's going to say. There's a really good chance that she's not, because it's very randomly and very specific. So, but I am kind of wondering if we're about to hear that she's got DID. I had to walk her back a little bit because I had to go look something up, but okay. I'm gonna let her finish and then we'll have a discussion.
Don't really know why. I was actually diagnosed on my 19th session with my psychologist with borderline personality disorder.
Okay, so if we are to believe the timeline, remember she said she had the 15 sessions with the original person who was doing the weight loss therapy with her, the psychologist. Did I say that right? I don't remember. So she saw him 4 more times after that and was then diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. And then she went to see a specialist once before she left to move to Oklahoma. All right, so I had to look it up a little bit. So I guess, in my opinion, she would fall into the petulant disorder, the petulant BPD. Okay, look, as dyslexic, those 3 letters all in a row like that, that's like living hell for me, by the way. But to me, who is not an authority, who does not have any ability to diagnose in any way, shape, or form, it sounds like the only one she would really fit into, in my personal opinion, would be petulant. Also, it's just fun to say petulant. Basically, it's bratty BBT. But that's just me poking fun. So there's that. What her doctor really diagnosed her with, I don't know. I think she's moving on from this question, so we never know. And also, I'm sure it's not what I think it should be because, again, not a therapist, not a psychiatrist, psychologist person, so I don't even know the difference, apparently. So there's that. That's just funny. Yay, add another one to the bingo card.
And for some reason, I had a hard time accepting that and still have a hard time accepting that because it's obvious. It's obvious that I have borderline personality disorder, and it's something that, like, I always...
Okay. This is me being critical at this point. She says this exact same routine every time she gets a new diagnosis. She said this when she had, now I can't remember the other, bipolar. She said this when she got diagnosed with, what's the one she's most recently been diagnosed with? It's not bipolar. Anyway, there's some other one where she was just like, it's obvious. Of course it's this one. So she says this every single time she gets diagnosed with something.
Is purposely pushed away. Like, people would contact me and be like, you seem like you have BPD, and I just...
Did they, though? Did they, Jan? Did they?
Just automatically would shut them down and be like, nope. I don't know what it is. I think it's because with everything else, like anxiety, okay? Take some medicine, try some Zoloft, see if that helps. Bipolar, take some mood stabilizer, see if that helps, but with borderline personality disorder, there isn't really a medicine for that.
There's not a medicine for the overarching BPD, but there is medicine that can help deal with the symptoms thereof, like anxiety and mood swings. That's what mood stabilizers are for the mood swings. I mean, yeah, she's correct. There's no magical pill that you take and they're like, here, take that and it'll take the borderline personality disorder away. That doesn't exist. But like, oh, you have anxiety, here, try these pills. Oh, you have mood swings, here, try these pills, So I guess she's on some kind of morally superior horse at this point because, see, you guys, taking my medication, I didn't need to do that because it won't help anyway. Okay, I mean, you're treating symptoms, not necessarily the cause, because the cause can't be treated, but the symptoms can. Does that make sense to people? I mean, I know it doesn't make sense to her, but does that make sense to everybody else?
You have to work. And it's just like, this diagnosis explains literally probably 95% of the reason why I am the way that I am. And I don't know if I want to like talk about it anymore because, again, it's hard for me to accept. I don't know why. It's that one thing where I kept telling myself, this can't be real, this can't be true. And it is. And now it's just something else that I have to put in work. And it's just,
God forbid.
Maybe I feel like it's a bit unfair. And then I have to remind myself life isn't fair. You know, people are dealt their cards and it's kind of like how you play them. That's like the motto that I need to live by currently. It's like, okay, my cards were dealt. Now let's play them, you know, in a way that's just gonna make your life more positive. Next question is,
Lord, we were just talking about this. So with Amber and her new diagnosis, I'm not saying she doesn't have it. I'm not, because she's correct. It does sound like Amber. And if her doctor says that she has it, then I am in no position to say otherwise. That there's just all that there is to it. I read you guys the symptoms as per the internet, as per the AI, which is obviously infallible. And then we read over the 4 different types that there is out there, just honestly because I was curious. I am in no way, shape, or form saying she does not have this. And if her doctor says she has it, I'm not going to tolerate, I'm not going to encourage disinformation otherwise. Let me put it that way. However, going back to the whole, this being the end of her damn world kind of a thing, it seems to me that the BPD is an umbrella term that is a grouping of symptoms all together, and it's a group of symptoms. It's not like one thing, I guess, if that makes sense. It's like the intersection of the Venn diagram of multiple things all together, because a lot of the symptoms that I'm seeing listed out for BPD are symptoms of other things as well. So it's not like any of these symptoms are unique to BPD, like the anxiety, like the mood swings, like the abandonment problems, okay? And the mood instability. Those are all things that happen with other disorders as well. Obviously, she just has the right collection of them to get the BPD diagnosis. I'm not disputing the BPD diagnosis. As far as this, I have never in the history of her channel ever heard her talk about BPD as if she knew what the hell it was before this moment or before she went to that doctor's appointment where she got diagnosed. So this whole thing, people have been reaching out to me and telling me that I have BPD. I don't buy that for even a second. Not even a second. Have I seen people tell her she's got ADHD? Yes. Have I seen people tell her she's bipolar? Yes. Have I seen people claim that she's a narcissist? Yes. I've seen people tell her things. I've never seen the BPD thing. So I'm calling bullshit on that. As far as this whole oh my God, I have to put in so much work. Girl, you had to put in work for all of the other things too. Just because you're on medication for anxiety and mood swings doesn't mean that you don't have to put in the work. That's the part that aggravates everybody. You won't put the work in. You won't even take the medication. You won't even do the bare minimum. So this is why, the BPD is just another box on the bingo card for you, because you're not going to do anything about it. But whenever people start getting critical about you or demanding you take responsibility for yourself or something like that, you're going to be like, oh, I can't. I have BPD. I mean, we can see this in the future because this is what you've done with everything else. You blame the binge monster for your nastiness towards your exes. You've blamed your bipolar for why you can't be a decent human being. You've blamed your anxiety for why you can't go out in public and be a normal person, or at least normal's a setting on the dishwasher, but you get my point. It's just, you use these things as crutches, and now you have a new crutch. And no, I don't expect to ever see you do anything to mitigate it. It's one of those things that doesn't go away. You're going to have this. I mean, you've always had it. That's the reality of the situation. You've always had this. You just now have a name for it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's like depression. Depression doesn't go anywhere. You always have it, especially if you have chronic depression. Okay? It's what you do with that, you know? I know I'm going to always have depression. What can I do to make my life not suck? You know, oh, I can take certain medications. I can get therapy. I can learn coping mechanisms, and I can learn to recognize when I'm going down a spiral. Does it stop the spiral? Not necessarily, but at least I know what's happening. You know, it's that kind of a thing. It never happens with her. She never tries. She'll collect the diagnosis, she'll bemoan the fact that she has it, she'll demand that we be sympathetic because of it, and then she'll do nothing to do anything about it. I mean, I'm very sympathetic about the fact that there are certain disorders that will not go away. Believe me, I am. But I also believe that you've got to do something about it eventually. Like, you're the only person who can fix it. It doesn't go away. And no one can step in and give you a magical pill or a magical shot that'll make it go away. If you don't put the work in, nothing gets better. And I know that sucks, but it's the reality. And we've never seen her do that, ever. If anything, all we do is ever see her use it as a crutch, use it as a shield, and then do nothing about it. Yeah? Anyway, now I'm just ranting.
Give us the tea on the guy who ghosted you. There's like a rumor that a guy ghosted me. I'm just going to say right now that rumor is not real. I don't know where that came from.
The now deleted. It wasn't deleted, apparently. Apparently it was an Instagram story. And the Instagram stories only last for so long. Somebody screen capped it. I haven't seen the actual screen cap. Maybe I did. Where did I see it? I know somebody mentioned it to me in my comments section. And after it got mentioned, I did see it. Was it on Alex's? It had to be Alex. It had to be Alex's shook. Does she mention that it was a guy? That's the part I can't recall. I remember the thing. I remember it happened. It must have been when she was drinking the whiskey online. I don't remember if she mentioned who it was, if it was a he or a she. She just mentioned that she had gotten ghosted. So, there's that. But you did mention you got ghosted. So that's probably where that's coming from. Ooh, she's still mad about it too. Look at her.
Any changes you've noticed from your hysterectomy? Yes, my hair. My hair is the number one biggest change besides not having a period. Thank God. My hair.
Okay, seriously though. I know of like no woman that if you told them, hey, you never have to have a period again. You know, if you walked up to pretty much any woman I know and went, you never have to have a period again, but you're still going to be healthy and fertile and all that good stuff. You get to have all the bonuses, but you don't have to have the period. I don't know a single woman who wouldn't be like, okay, you know, don't know a single one. None of us enjoy it.
Hair, you can't tell now because it is straight, but my hair texture has completely changed. It's like curly and like, it's just like, it looks dry and just not good.
Yes, the texture of her hair has changed since her hysterectomy, and that has been very noticeable. So there's that. B, your hair was dry and kind of crusty looking before your hysterectomy. People were calling you out for it for a long time before the hysterectomy. C, the hysterectomy maybe didn't help, but as far as like the condition of your hair, like that hasn't changed. But yeah, the kinky curly thing the waviness of her hair. She does have like these strange patches, and I'm sure this happens to, because I know it's an actual symptom. But I know, like, with menopause, your hormones go like bazonk, and one of the things that they do is they like change your hair for whatever reason. So there's that. I believe her on that one, is what I'm trying to say.
The texture that I do not like, so that's why I choose to straighten it, so you guys can't tell.
What happened to the crimping thing? We were doing crimping there for like a week.
But on top of that, my hair has thinned a lot. My hysterectomy was
I believe that too.
Full hysterectomy, so I went through menopause at a very young age, obviously. So I'm just like showing symptoms of that, and I know that's like a really big one. And then another one is like I noticed I get hot and cold a lot quicker than I ever did. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
it does.
It definitely happened.
Look at all the fun things you have to look forward to. Aren't you excited? Those of you who haven't gone through it yet.
After my hysterectomy. Okay, I've had a lot of people ask if I will be doing Vlogmas this year, and honestly, I don't know.
He says that every year.
Because my last Vlogmas was my favorite Vlogmas of all time. Because I remember how I felt during it.
Okay.
Not a lot of people have to enjoy it. It's fine. I mean, if you enjoyed it, thank you so much. But it's like, for me, a lot of my memories come from like, how did that make me feel? I remember how people make me feel, how situations make me feel above anything else. And
Are you implying that most people don't have memories based on feelings? It's like she's implying that most people don't have memories based on feelings. Though I will say that like scent is supposed to be like the number one memory trigger. So I know for me it's like taste, smell, and taste, which are very, very closely related. Obviously, you can't. Wait, I'm rambling. But anyway, my point is like, it's not weird.
I remember Vlogmas making me happy. I felt happy. I felt at home. I felt content. I was sad for it to end. And it's because of the things I was doing in Vlogmas.
Did you make it to the end of Vlogmas last year? I'm assuming she's talking about last year's Vlogmas. Where basically her and Feline just opened presents like pretty much every day, which, you know, whatever. Do you, that's fine. I didn't have a huge issue with it, honestly. But did it go all the way? She never does like all like whatever 30-ish days of Christmas. That's 30-ish days of December. That's fine. I mean, I think that's insane anyway. But she routinely does start Vlogmas and normally gets within like 2 or 3 days of completing Vlogmas and then like pitters out. So I can't remember if last year if she made all of Vlogmas. She sets her own goals, by the way. This isn't like there's not like a designated amount of time for Vlogmas. But anyway, I don't remember if she completed her Vlogmas goal last year, and I'm defaulting to she didn't because she so frequently doesn't. But again, she usually makes it like within spitting distance of the goal and then usually quits. So I don't know.
I know I just said I wasn't going to talk about Feline much, but she is a very large portion of the reason why I enjoyed Vlogmas so much. I feel like we had...
If I was getting like $200 to $300 gifts every other day, I'd be pretty excited too. I mean, I'm not going to lie. If somebody was buying me high-end jewelry and every Lego kit I ever looked at cross-eyed, I'd be pretty happy too. Like, it'd be pretty memorable for me.
A very good time. And so now when I think of Vlogmas, I think of her. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to manage. So for right now, I do not know. I love Vlogmas, but do I love it enough to every day be super sad over it? I don't know.
Okay, if that's what's going to happen, I don't want Vlogmas. I'm over this breakup. I've been over this breakup. I could care less about the remainder of this breakup. It's getting creepy at this point. Like, if you really are this heartbroken still, I do not approve. I don't want to deal with it. Please don't make me do this. Because you know I'll have to react to it. Oh my god, if she does Vlogmas, I'm so doing an analysis of it. I'm so doing an analysis of it. However many days of Vlogmas she manages to do, I'm so doing it.
Next question is, you should explain your TikToks. Oh my god, my TikToks. A lot of people...
Like, oh my god, I'm so glad you asked.
think that they have like hidden meaning. They don't. I just really enjoy dancing, lip syncing. Some people call them thirst traps. Definitely not. I'm just
Girl, they're thirst traps. It's okay. Just own it. It's fine.
kind of, for the lack of a better term, I'm just feeling myself. I don't know. I just enjoy being that. And by that, I don't really know what that means. I just enjoy that. So
This goes back to Amberlynn's construction of the character of Amberlynn, but the character that she keeps trying, I think, let me organize my thoughts here. The character that she's portraying on TikTok is different than the character she portrays on YouTube. And I think right now she's liking the TikTok Amberlynn more than she likes the YouTube Amberlynn, because the TikTok Amberlynn is very quick, is very safe and hidden. From what I understand, she has the comments turned off on her TikToks, but also, like, thirst trap or not, she's definitely putting her A game forward. She's using filters out the wazoo. I mean, I've seen some of them through other YouTube videos. So she's definitely liking that Amberlynn, who's like young and hip and pretty and down with the in kids on the TikToks, versus YouTube Amberlynn, who's well established, has a community built around her, whether she likes it or not, and has like the issues and the problems that go along with YouTube Amberlynn. So yeah, she probably does like TikTok Amberlynn a lot better, because that version is much heavier curated. I don't think anything Amber puts up there is revealing of anything. Like, TikTok is so incredibly curated in general. I wouldn't try to break down cultural norms or personality of Amberlynn via TikTok, because I know how performative she is, not like socially active performative. I mean, like, the character performative. You're going to get a better idea of what actual Amberlynn is like using YouTube, just because she slips up sometimes. There's no ability to slip up on TikTok, really. Everything she puts up there is on purpose. You can say the same thing about the YouTube videos, but because of her editing skills and just like the 10 years that she's been on YouTube, there's so much more of the genuine Amber on YouTube than there is on TikTok. So no, I don't think there's any deeper meaning to the TikToks. Honestly, I don't. I think they are what they are. They're her in the moment, and that's it.
if you go to my TikTok and you see, you'll know what I mean. I just enjoy that Amberlynn. That Amberlynn to me,
Hot, young, and thirst trappy Amberlynn,
is fun. What's it been like getting to reconnect with your mom? It has been so amazing. We have so much time lost that I think that we're trying to make up for. And I have noticed some people saying, like, why do you only hang out with your mom? Like, well, I mean, I've only been here for a month. My whole
I wonder what got cut there.
life, I didn't have her. And we're both in a situation where we have each other and we're both wanting to build that relationship, whether it's mother-daughter or just a friendship. Because at this point right now, it's like she doesn't 100% know how to be a mom, even though she's doing an amazing job. And I don't even know if I know how to be a daughter, as freaking crazy as that sounds.
You know what? This has all been very honest for her, and I'm impressed with it. I really am. And this is kind of what I was figuring. I figured, like, Mama Lynn doesn't know how to be a mama, and that's fine. I mean, sometimes you don't get to be a mother. But I think she is trying her damnedest to be, like, a good friend, or, like, a big sister, maybe. And I think that's... It seems to be sitting well with Amber, so... Why is she hanging out with her mom all the time? Who else would she be hanging out with? Who's asking her that question? She just moved to Oklahoma. Even if she was making friends, there's no way in hell she has a friend to hang out with all the time right now.
So we're just trying to reconnect, and we're having fun with each other, and we have not just fun with each other, but we have those tough conversations.
She's being honest.
She has done a lot of,
and because of that, I'm cool with it. I mean, this is good. I like this. I like hearing this. She does sound happy about it. She looks like she's happy about it. She's not being deceptive, which is unusual for Amber, but yeah, she's being really honest here. So her and Mama Lynn are having as good a time as they are capable of having.
Of apologizing, and we've talked so much about the past, and it's just been really good bonding experience for sure. What is the best part of living in Oklahoma besides being closer to family, and what's been the worst part of living in Oklahoma?
I swear to God, if you say Feline, I'm going to be irritated. Not that you care, but I will be irritated.
So the best part is the fact that I actually love it here. I don't know why, but when I lived here when I was 18, it was just for like 6 months or something. I hated it. I don't know if it was like where I was living.
With your grandmother?
Didn't really go anywhere. Now I go a lot of different places, but I just love it. Like, people here are so nice, and I don't know what it is. Like, the energy feels good to me. Worst part has been obviously my random waves of loneliness, for sure. Like, no matter how much family's around you or whatever it may be, sometimes moving to a new place with new surroundings where you have to create a new routine, especially without someone that you love, it does create a sense of loneliness, and that has been really hard.
She's being honest. So, and she's not wrong. I think the few times where I've moved, I mean, granted, I've always had my partner with me. That's not true. When I moved to Chicago way back in the day, I did move very close to my, again, very close, good friend. I even lived with her for about 3 months because I had nowhere to live. I had nowhere to go. And she let me live in her basement with the creepy ass toilet. Memories. So that's like the one time I moved by myself out of state. Every other time I've moved with my partner, but it's still very isolating to move, especially when you're moving away from all of your friends. So there's that. Yeah, when my other good friend, when he moved to Texas, he was like, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna come back and we're gonna visit family. We're gonna visit friends." And I looked at him and I was like, "Dude, no one expects you to come back from Texas. It's okay. It's all right to move to Texas and stay there. No one's expecting you to come back." That's not why we're not friends, but it kind of is ish.
And I know that obviously another worst thing is going to be tornadoes in the damn summer, ice and snow in the winter.
Do they get snow in Oklahoma? I know they're in Tornado Alley. They're like the lower half of Tornado Alley. I don't know about the winter weather there.
Looking forward to that. Next question is,
for some reason in my head, Oklahoma is one of those states that stays warm all year. Like, it just gets warmer. So I don't know. I don't know what their winters are like. I guess we'll find out because it is November.
What areas of your life are in need of the most improvement? Definitely my weight, like 100%. Do you only leave the apartment on the weekend?
And that is all.
No. I leave on the weekends, during the week, just whenever I have plans. Are you going to start uploading on a schedule again soon? I don't know. I feel like starting a schedule is only going to make me fail. And I have done too much failing in several areas of my life.
In her defense, when she does set a schedule for herself, with very few rare exceptions, she does tend to not stick to it whatsoever. It's kind of like with her weight loss things. You know, she was losing weight there for a while and she was losing it rather quickly. And she was fine until she told us what she was doing. And then, as I predicted, she started gaining weight again. So, as strange, well, it's really not that strange when you really look at the psychology of it. When she doesn't tell us and doesn't have like a hard set schedule, she does tend to do better as far as being a regular poster and losing the weight. Like, if she doesn't tell us what kind of diets she's doing, she tends to lose the weight. But as soon as she tells us about it, that's as soon as she starts gaining the weight back again. And the same thing with the schedules. You know, she posts fairly regularly until she's like, I'm going to start posting every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then it just all goes to hell. It was also one of the main reasons why I've never committed to a schedule, is because I know myself and I'm like, I'm probably going to do better posting if I don't commit to a schedule out loud. So there's that, which is why I don't have a schedule.
So maybe it's best I don't have a schedule right now. How old were you when you graduated high school? I was 18. Okay, so we're...
It's just such a strange, random question. How old were you when you graduated high school? I mean, I was 19, but that's because we had this weird cutoff. I don't know if every state does it, but in Indiana, there was this weird cutoff. If you were born before October 1st, you could go to preschool at 4. I don't remember exactly. I just know that I was born after the cutoff date, so I was technically a year older than everybody else because that was just how the cookie crumbled. So I was 19 when I graduated high school, even though most of my peers were 18. But I mean, in all fairness, I was like just barely 19, so.
We're going to end there. I feel like this video is super long. I hope that you guys did enjoy it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Bye. Nope.
Hey guys.
Nope, stop it. All right, so that was kind of fun. I'm vaguely impressed with the questions she decided to tackle. Those were some different questions for her. She did actually answer some things that have been eating at some of us for a long time. I know I go on a kind of a rant about mental health and all that, and I think I got kind of loud too. I don't know. I'm sure I'll hear about it later from my partner. But yeah, I mean, I kind of stand by what I said. And yeah, I mean, I'm okay. Let's do this. She seems to be in good spirits. She's being truthful, which is refreshing for Amber. There are definitely some parts where she's not being truthful. I can do without the whole never-ending breakup thing. I'm just so over it. I cannot express to you how much I'm over Feline. I wish I could project how much I am over Feline onto Amber so that she would get over Feline. Also, this creepy stalker-esque behavior that she's doing to Feline is weird, and I stand by what I said. So there's that. Otherwise, she does actually seem to be genuinely happy to be spending time with her mom. Not only did her face light up and her body language change, but the tone of her voice went up some. So she's genuinely, she does like it. She does seem to actually be enjoying Oklahoma, but that could be because she's enjoying spending time with her mom and her other family members. So those two things could be related. And yeah, the rest of the questions, like, how old were you when you graduated high school? How old is the average person when they graduate high school? You're somewhere between 18 and 19, as far as I understand. I mean, I know you can graduate early. I mean, technically, I could have graduated early. I just didn't because I didn't want to be the weird one. Literally. I was like, no, I don't want to graduate early. All my friends will make fun of me. So there's that. I just think that's a strange question to ask. There was like another one that I was just kind of like, who asks that weird ass question? Honestly, my biggest problem with her is the BPD, borderline personality disorder thing. I'm not saying she doesn't have it. I'm willing to believe, hands down, that she does have it. I have no objection to that. I just think that she's going to use it as a crutch, and it's just going to be another thing for her to throw at us when we're being mean to her. You can't be mean to me. I have BPD. Yeah, you and like... what percentage of the population has BPD? Let me check. So, yeah, you and roughly 6% of the population has BPD. So, okay. My point is, I was making a joke. And then I checked statistics and it no longer was a joke. So, there we go with that. I'm trying to think of an emoji. All right, so anyway, so we're at the end of this. Took a little bit longer than I expected it to. I'll probably cut things down a little bit. Just because, like... I don't care how old you were when you went to high school, when you graduated high school. So anyway, so down in the comments section, even though I will probably cut the high school question out, go ahead and leave a diploma or graduation cap down in the comments section because it amuses me. And if you have any thoughts, comments, feelings that are relevant to the conversation, please feel free to leave those down in the comments section as well. And yeah, thank you to everybody who's been supporting this channel. Again, I truly appreciate every single one of you. I am, as of the last time I looked at my stats, I was at 1,800 followers. If you guys want to, like tell your friends to subscribe and bump me up to 2,000, I will do an AMA very similar to what Amber did, only much better curated. I don't know. I feel like she did kind of curate this pretty well. And yeah, so there's that. I may or may not be making merch with that on there. I did not realize how frequently I said that until a couple of you have pointed it out now. I'm just like, do I really say? Oh my God, I say it all the time. So there's that. And I will see all of you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.